The Wellhouse, your mission is what?
We are a shelter for victims of sexual exploitation and human trafficking. We're also a transitional living facility. The ladies can stay with us as long as they need to.
Yesterday, it just happened to be that we're following right here on this anniversary. We had a 17-year-old that was picked up by a Georgia State trooper. She was brave enough to speak up when her, I don't know if it's abductor or slave master, whatever you want to call him.
Pimp, drug dealer, trafficker, something along those lines.
When the guy got pulled over, she was brave enough to speak up.
Yes.
Talk to me just a little bit about that. How hard is it when you're in that kind of situation? You've been there, hit through God knows how much horrible stuff she's been through in the last 5 years. To have that opportunity just to say, this is my chance, this is the chance to get out.
It's one of the most difficult things she's probably ever done in her life. And the reason why is because probably for the past 5 years he's brainwashed her. There is no way at 17 years old that I could have spoken up. And the reason why is because society and law enforcement, especially the law enforcement, they perpetuate the problem because prostitution is still a crime. So you think you're going to be arrested. And so for her to say, I need help, this is what's going on, was a huge, courageous thing for her to do. And it's absolutely phenomenal that she had that courage and those guts at 17.
Yeah, and then for the trooper to actually listen.
He listened, yes, and he treated her as a victim as opposed to a criminal, which is saying a lot. With today being National Human Trafficking Awareness Day, and for that happening yesterday, that's just saying so much on the way that awareness is shifting, law enforcement views are changing, and we're actually being able to get help as opposed to being re-victimized again by law enforcement.
You know, and I think the big thing about this is that it turns out that this girl was taken when she was 12 years old from the Birmingham area.
Yes.
This is proof right there that if you don't think that this is a problem in your backyard, you're wrong. Isn't that right?
That's correct. Well, I was trafficked to Birmingham so much it became home. I'm originally from Atlanta. So it was a reverse for me.
You know, today, y'all, your group has just put up a very good, high-quality video. It focuses on I-20, the corridor between Birmingham and Atlanta.
Yes, it was posted on YouTube. We've been using it since last year, but this is the first time it's actually made like through public venues. But we've used it as awareness training and awareness raising. Lewis Communications did that video for us, and they are. We've had some great law enforcement. Jack Williams, our state representative, who helped write the law in Alabama for trafficking, or either he wrote it or helped write it. The one that had actually, enforced it or helped get it enforced was on the video, and it's just a huge awareness raising campaign that we're closing out 2012 and coming into 2013 with.
Now, there's a big distinction on this, that while the women involved in this video that are depicted in this video, they are actresses.
Yes,
correct?
All the women on the video are actresses. The stories are real, but all the stories come from the book In Our Backyard, A Christian Perspective on Trafficking by Nita Bells.
You know, when you sit there and you think about it, I-20, how many of us every day get on that road back and forth, go to Atlanta for fun, back and forth, just doing whatever, just daily commutes? There's no way that the average person is ever thinking about what is actually coming up and down that road on a daily basis. What do you hope that this video really helps illustrate for just, the common person that is never touched by this kind of act, but needs to be aware of it?
I hope they're aware that coming through our city is one of the biggest corridors in the United States, if not the biggest corridor. Not only is that the highway I was trafficked up and down more so than any other highway in the United States, but when you called me today, I was on that highway with a rescue.
I'm not getting into the specifics of your rescue today, but I would imagine that you're having to travel that roadway probably more than you'd like.
Yes, and it brings back a lot of memories. Jesus is in the healing business, and I truly believe we are a faith-based and Christ-centered agency, and I truly believe that he takes us full circle sometimes to heal us completely.
What is it like for you when you're going down that road, you're going to rescue somebody, you haven't met them yet, but you end up having to, how do you deal with that? Do you contemplate, your own experiences going up and down that road?
Oh, most definitely. And then you do a lot of praying and a lot of soul seeking and a lot of searching in the process, because being able to relate to someone on that level again, it keeps that door open and it keeps that pain fresh, but it also makes you really grateful, or makes me really grateful for where I am today and where God has brought me and what He's called me to do. This is not something that as a little girl you grew up saying, oh, I want to run this kind of shelter, I want to find this kind of shelter, I want to be able to do this for these ladies. This is literally a calling. I mean, it's a Jesus calling, and it's the only thing. Everyone I know that's like heavily involved in it are devout Christians following Jesus and understand that it's a calling, because this is satanic warfare. It's not easy.
When you have them, you bring them back, transitional shelter, transitional housing.
No.
No?
No, we're not traditional.
No, transitional.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I guess what I'm getting at is that, for anybody that's been in a situation, I would imagine everyone is completely different, but how hard is it for someone to find the ability to trust again, and how does it make you feel when you realize you've made a breakthrough?
I still have trust issues myself, and so to be able to trust again is huge, and to have that young lady look at me, not necessarily a young lady, we've rescued from 17 to 54, literally, but to have them say at that moment, thank you for what you've done, or thank you, or you actually believe in me, and to have that breakthrough is momentous. Jesus left the 99 to save the one. And so just making a difference in one's life is a big difference, is a huge accomplishment.
Why is this so popular? Is there really money that's being made in this industry?
Almost definitely. When I was on the streets and trafficked myself at 15 years old, there was probably about 40 of us between the ages of 14 to 19 that were friends.
Where does the money go? Who's controlling this money?
Oh, he gets it. Whoever he may be at the time. And he is that current drug dealer or pimp or trafficker. And that usually on the streets you look at them as your pimp, your daddy, or your drug dealer, because you have to have something. You're getting paid rate daily, many times a day. And so you have to have a coping mechanisms. And one of the things they use is drugs, and making sure you're addicted, because that way they can keep you, and then it's consistently your fault, and so the brainwashing continues and the cycle continues, that it's your fault, so you need to do this, you need more drugs, and you need to get through this, and so you have to make more money to do this, and it's a vicious cycle.
I would imagine this is probably nationwide, maybe globally, $1 billion industry.
$32 billion a year. This is the second largest crime in the world.
When you see what Congress did in 2011 when they pulled back that money that goes to help nonprofits like yourself, what did that say to you about what was happening?
Well, the thing is, there hasn't been any money up until September 25th of last year, when Obama signed the executive order allocating $6 million to human trafficking, the fight against human trafficking in the United States, and that grant money is supposed to come down soon. But prior to that, there has been no money. The only way the only funding we do receive currently is when churches, people, companies donate. That is the only money we have to run.
And that takes me back to the video. A video of that quality, of that length, that's not cheap. And fortunately, no. You didn't end up having to pay for those, did you?
No. Lewis Communications has donated their services for the past year, actually a little over a year. They did our logo, they've done billboards, they did the video, we have commercials, we have a 60-second spot. We would love to get on the air on stations around Birmingham, just to let people know what's going on and what trafficking looks like. And it's just been a huge blessing, and we're so grateful to Lewis Communications for all they've done, and Spencer Till. It's been absolutely amazing. There's no way we could have afforded anything that they have done. They're a huge company that do work for large companies that can afford it, that are for profit. So there's no way we could have afforded any of this. And just by the grace of God and their generosity have we been able to put out that quality work.
Now, you were in Aniston earlier today. A
Yes.
young girl that was recovered yesterday from Birmingham. What about people watching in Pelham, in Helena, and Calera, and
Pelham's currently a hotspot.
Really?
Really, yes. Pelham is currently a hotspot right now. There's been several arrests in Pelham over the past 6 to 8 months, and on top of that, I've gotten several phone calls. We have a local 800 number, and the last time I checked it, just doing the analytics for last year, for our local crisis line for the Wellhouse, from January the 1st till December the 23rd, we received 1,066 phone calls.
There you go. I mean, you can't throw another statistic out there that won't showcase. Bottom line, this is probably happening in your little town, your little community,
Yes.
not far from you. What can I do to help? What can I do to stop this in my community?
First of all, you can pray, number one. Second of all, stop closing your eyes. Because what we do as a society is we get up and we go to work and we go home. We may go out to a movie, go to church, go spend some time at the mall. In those areas, we don't look at what's going on. We don't look at the restaurants where they don't speak English. We don't look at the massage parlors. We just turn our head and close our eyes as we drive by them. We don't look at the girl standing on the corner because we think she's there by choice. And even if she doesn't have physical chains around her neck, she has more psychological chains than you'll ever see in life. So stop closing our eyes is the first thing we have to do, and realize that not only is this a global problem, it's a local problem too.
Is the best way for me to help to approach that young girl and ask her if she needs help?
No.
Am I not going to reach her that way?
No, you not approach her, because if you're a male and you approach her, she's going to approach you, because someone, if you see her and you ride around the block, someone's watching her somewhere. And so sometimes just making sure that the information's out there, that the national human trafficking number is out there, that our local crisis line number is out there, that any information she can have is out there somewhere. Even if you go to the hotel nearby and just drop off a flyer at the desk or whatever's going on, just making sure that, and the people in your church, the people at your job, the people everywhere know what's going on so they can make more others aware. And that we can help these ladies by stopping on the demand side, because this is basic economics. It's supply and demand. If we can stop the demand of men and some women, even though the percentage is much smaller, from purchasing sex or watching pornography or whatever they're doing, then we can stop the supply of these girls. And I do say girls because even though the Wellhouse serves 18 and over, as you can see by this young lady yesterday, it doesn't start out at over 18, it starts out at 12. We just happen to get them once they've aged out of the other systems.